Stronger.
And our top story for tonight on Newsview is, and I'm Michael Badger, by the way, workers' compensation is being audited. The state auditor in Springfield released his latest report on the workers' compensation program, and it's getting a bad review. This, according to WCIA at WCIA.com. That's WCIA TV in Champaign. And they say the state auditor says lawmakers need to work together to fix the broken system. William Hovland says the program doesn't have enough oversight, and his report found workers' medical records in some cases weren't being checked to determine if they were actually hurt on the job. In addition to that, it also noticed there aren't any policies in place to spot fraud. The state has paid nearly $300 million between 2007 and 2010. More than 26,000 of the cases were filed between then, in that time. And Holland says something needs to be done to reform the program. Representative Adam Brown, Republican of Decatur, says the same thing. He agrees with him. And this report found adjusters were receiving claims that each had more than 1,500 caseloads. They're supposed to have no more than 250 at a time. Holland says there needs to be an increase in the staffing. Lawmakers passed a bill last year attempting to address some of these issues, but Representative Brown says it obviously wasn't enough, and most of that's quoted from WCIA, which is IllinoisHomepage.net or WCIA.com. It doesn't say who filed the story for some reason. Don't mind that, folks. That's just one of our pins holding the chroma key green screen up, coming undone. And Christie Clinic, according to Channel 3 again, is going to have the marathon, and the marathon is going to be big, probably, but it might rain. And that, according to me and WCIA. The Los Angeles Times says the earthquake in that was heard near Newport Beach and Costa Mesa to San Juan Capistrano was a small earthquake, but it could make history. It was a 3.9, but it could still make history in Orange County, California. This happened Monday, and it was centered in the southern suburb of Laguna Niguel, and could be the first measured on a fault discovered only 13 years ago. And this little-known fault is called the San Joaquin Hills Thrust. and is similar to the fault that triggered the deadly North Ridge quake in San Fernando Valley 18 years ago. Unlike that fault, which can be seen on the surface, the fracture in the Earth's crust making up the San Joaquin Hills Thrust Fault is entirely underground. And for more about that, you can go to latimes.com, look for articles, and according to CBS News out of the U.S., and the Associated Press, in Tallahassee, Florida, a lieutenant for the Highway Patrol of Florida who didn't have any formal training or know the procedures, he reopened a fog and smoke-shrouded highway where a series of crashes killed 11 people in January, said investigators in a report released Thursday. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement report concluded that troopers made errors but found no criminal violations. Early morning, January 29th, the wildfires mixed smoke and fog blanketing Interstate 75 near Gainesville, where it cut through Pines Prairie State Park, a low area that lacks billboards or other lighting. You can read more about that at cbsnews.com. According to WICD15.com, which is from Channel 15 in Champaign, Ebert Fest began Wednesday evening. And in other news about that related, Mayor Don Gerard, mayor of Champaign, Illinois, presented film critic and Ebert Fest founder Roger Ebert with the key to the city of Champaign, Illinois. And according to WAND and the Associated Press and David Dishnew, in Fort Meade, Maryland, a military judge rejected a defense motion Thursday to consolidate some of the charges against an Army private who was accused of the biggest leak of government secrets in U.S. history. This, of course, being the, I believe, the WikiLeaks case, yes. The 24-year-old Oklahoma native was ordered court-martialed after he was accused of downloading the documents, diplomatic cables, and video clips, and then sending them to WikiLeaks. And in other news, a Decatur woman was shot in the head Wednesday night. Decatur police are investigating after a woman was at a hospital with a gunshot wound to her head. In a release, sent Thursday, police say the shooting happened in the basement of the home at 325 West Grand Street around 11:15 p.m. Wednesday. Police were detailed to Decatur Memorial Hospital around 11:30 p.m. when the 31-year-old victim arrived for treatment. They say she was unable to tell them that she had been staying at home on West Grand temporarily and she was shot by an unknown person. Witnesses at the home at the time of the shooting were questioned by police. Detectives have collected evidence from inside the home. The victim has been transferred to Carle Hospital in Urbana. Condition is serious but not life-threatening. Police say nobody's been arrested in connection with the shooting, and the investigation is ongoing. That's from WAND TV 17, Indicator, Illinois. And stay tuned for more News View. Welcome back to News View. Now, News View has recently made a comeback to Twitter. At News View Urbana is where to find us on Twitter. Facebook, Newsview TV, facebook.com/NewsviewTV, and the email is still newsview@email.com. I've noticed the local television stations, WICD and WCIA, have been writing shorter news stories than they used to. We're talking really short. I don't know why this is. It could be maybe they don't want me reading their news stories. I don't know. I don't know if that's it. Maybe it's just people have shorter attention spans today. Some people. I don't know. I saw. I've seen. Well, you know how Conan O'Brien is on during most local newscasts weeknights. He's been doing a funny segment lately about local newscasts, and he has pretty much nailed the typical TV newscast you get most any place in the country. I love it, and so I love the 70s and 80s TV newscasts even more. You may have figured that out. I don't know, but there's just something different today. It's just I like a lot of the people who work in TV news today. I think it's still a good, important. It provides people with something, a little something still. It's not quite as much the way I like it used to be. I'm trying to be different here, yet similar at the same time. Enjoy Newsview. We should be back next week again at Mondays and Friday nights here on UPTV 6 and 99. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
Sure, I'd love a cure, but not if it means cloning and destroying human lives to harvest their stem cells. After all, you and I began as tiny human embryos too. Using our tax dollars to end the lives of developing human beings is unethical. Besides, there are other stem cell sources that don't kill human lives. These have already treated or cured thousands of patients. Guess how many treatments and cures there have been using human embryonic stem cells? None. Learn the facts today.
And here's your Newsview weather forecast for, this is the month of April. This is April 27th, 2012, Friday night. A low temperature of 44 degrees Friday night. 70% POP, showers likely. Saturday, 58 degrees Fahrenheit with a pop of 50% showers. And Saturday night, 39 degrees Fahrenheit for the low with a 30% pop. And Sunday, 56 degrees Fahrenheit with sunny skies. And for Sunday night, 45 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. This has been your News View weather forecast for South Central Illinois.
Code 405. Transmission lock 3, 2, 1.
Coming up next on UPTV at 9:30 Fast Forward and at 12:30 R&R TV.